Hey, sixth graders. So this is a lesson on algebra, and it's going to be a lesson called Solving Systems of Equations. Vanessa, I think that you did a little bit of this last year. We are going to be using the substitution method. So this basically is a system of equations, is a collection of two or more equations, and they contain common variables. So if you look at this, like these first two equations, there's both an x and a y in both of these equations, and we're going to solve for one of those variables, either the x or the y, and we're going to use that to solve for the other variable. It's kind of simple, but it requires a lot of steps, so you're going to really have to pay attention, okay? So first of all, the thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a example, okay? So I have, I don't want to use that one. I have this one. So I have negative 7x, and I am going to subtract 2y, and that is equal to negative 10. And then I have another one, 6x plus y, which is equal to 15. So there are my two equations, okay? So basically, remember, this is algebra, so whatever is on this side is equal to this side. So all of this, when you figure it out, is going to be equal to negative 10. And when you do all of this, okay, it's going to be equal to 15. All right, so now we need to solve for these. So it's actually pretty simple. You're going to take one variable, okay, and you are going to solve for one of these variables in an equation. Now this one looks really difficult, right? This one, you can't get any of the letters by itself. But in this equation, I can get y all by himself, right? And to do that, remember, if y wants to be all by himself, I have to get rid of this. So the opposite of positive 6x is negative 6x. So this is going to cancel out, okay, and I'm going to move it over here. So now my new equation becomes y is going to be equal to 15 minus 6x. So that means that wherever I see a y, I'm going to put 15 minus 6x. Well, I can do that, okay? So I'm going to kind of rewrite this. And I'm going to reuse this equation right here to figure that out. So I have negative 7x, right, minus the 2. But now I have that y, and wherever I see a y, I'm going to put 15 minus 6x. So I'm going to put 15 minus 6x, okay? And that's going to all be equal to negative 10. All right, so that whole equation is right there. Now remember, we did this before. This is that distributive property. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify. So stay with me. So I have negative 7x, right? I don't have to do anything to that. Now I'm going to use that distributive property. So remember, I'm going to take that negative 2. I'm going to times it by this. I'm going to take that negative 2, times it by that. Now, a negative 2 times 15 is going to be a negative 30. Okay? And a negative 2 times a negative 6x is going to be a positive. A negative times a negative is always a positive. Plus 12x, okay? And all of that is equal to negative 10. So here's my brand new equation. All right, now I can start to put things together. So I have two x's here, this one and this one. So negative 7x plus positive 12x is going to give me 5x, right? Because a negative 7 plus a positive 12 is 5. So these things are done. And then I have minus 30, and that is equal to negative 10. So basically what they're saying is 5 times a number minus 30 is going to be negative 10. So, well, let's keep working here. Remember, x always wants to be by himself. So if I have negative 30 here, the opposite of that is going to be positive 30. This cancels out. Whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Okay? So now I have 5x is equal to, well, what's positive 30 minus 10? Well, it's going to be 20, right? So now it's saying 5 times a number is going to be equal to 20. And what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So this cancels out. So now x is left with a 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay? So now wherever I see an x, I can put a 4. So let's go back to my equations here. So I had, I'll find my equations here. There it is. 7x minus 2y equals negative 10. Okay, and then I had 6x plus y is equal to 15. Well, what do you think would be the easiest one to solve? I'm thinking it would be the bottom one. So wherever I see an x, I'm now going to put a 4. So this is 6. Oops, sorry about that. 6 times 4 plus that y is equal to 15. Well, what's 6 times 4? 24 plus y is equal to 15. Now, I want to get rid of that 24 because y wants to be by himself. So, and that is a y, not a 4. So I'm going to cancel these out. Blah, 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 blah. And so now y is going to be, well, what's 15 and negative 24? That would be what? Negative 9. Correct? Yes, negative 9. There you go. So there are your answers. So y is equal to negative 9 and x would be equal to 4. Now if I wanted to check my answers, I would do this. Wherever I see an x, I'm going to put a 4. So I'm going to get rid of this x and I would put a 4. And wherever I see a y, I'm going to put a negative 9. Okay, so this, oops, and that is, so this would be negative 28 and this would be positive 18. Which would make it true, right? Negative 8, or negative 28 plus 18, now you're going to get a negative 10, right? Exactly. And for this other one, wherever, and we kind of already, this was a 4, and this was negative 9, right? So 24 and negative 9 is going to give you 15. So that is how you solve these. So yes, it takes some steps. And it's going to require some thought, but you can do this. You have to be patient. You have to work through the problem. You're going to have to pay attention to what you're doing. Okay? Let's try one on the sheet. All right, so I'm going to try that first one. So I have negative x plus 9y, and if you want to do this with me, that way you'd have one of these puppies done. X minus 5y is equal to 1. So let's try and get rid of something. Let's get x by himself. So I'm going to take this one just because it's a positive x and I don't want to deal with a negative. So I'm going to do this one. So if I want to get rid of this, I add it, right? Cancels out, and then I got to add it over here, right? I got to keep everything equal. So x is now equal to 1 plus 5y. Okay? There's my new equation. There's the top equation. So that means that wherever I see an x, okay, I'm going to put 1 plus 5y. All right? So let's rewrite this. So now I have a negative 1 plus 5y, because we got to remember that negative is in there, plus 9y is going to be equal to 5. Okay, so there I got it. There's my new equation. So let's put stuff together. Okay, so I have, what is that, 14y. And then if I get rid of this, I have to add that. Get rid of that. Let's see here. That is equal to, oh, you know what? I think I might have to backtrack a little bit. It's equal to, oh, wait. Plus 1. Forgot to do my other side. is equal to 6